Got it. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Saturday Night Shelf Help Show. Jeffrey with the G, you know me. The thinking man's drinking man. Mark should be joining us here in just a couple of minutes. John and Missy are MIA. The love of my life, Rebecca, is at a pool party with her kids. So here we are, burning the midnight oil, so to speak. Except it's not that late. So we'll do stuff. We'll talk about stuff. We'll look at things. We'll learn something. I just watched a 20-minute, about a half-hour interrogation received by a member of the San Diego Sheriff's Department a couple of years back, who was accused of using his Snapchat and younger photos of himself, he was 27 at the time, to seduce minors, 4 minor females, and take them back to his home and have his way. He's in prison now. He went to my alma mater, Santana High School. It disgusts me. 12 years, 20 counts, 4 minors. From lewd and lascivious acts with a minor child. Just as a parent of 3 beautiful daughters, 2 of whom are minors currently, let me tell you, you touch my daughters, it's gonna be really, really hard to not wind up dead. It's heartbreaking stuff. And you guys hear about, we talk about grooming, we talk about trafficking, and somehow these ideas lose their impact. You hear about trafficking and it sounds like, whatever, it sounds like a busy intersection after work. Is that what that is? Is that what that means? Busy? Trafficking? Grooming sounds, you say it long enough, it sounds like whatever. What, they're brushing their hair, they're trying to get them to be interested in sex at a later date. No, this is about child rape. Like, understand the percentage of deviant human beings on this earth is huge. You know them. You know people who are deviants. You know people who will rape a child. You just don't know that you know. It's not something it's not rare. It's disgusting, but it's prevalent. It's everywhere. What do they say? Like, for people who have everything, the wealthy and the powerful, what do they have left to get pleasure? They have all the money, they have all the power. What's left? Children. What are the trophies that you have left? Children. It's horrifying. I try to make light of things by playing, grooming commercial on the show. I made that in response to the fact that I don't think people think it's a serious thing. It's more serious than you know. What's crazy is with the onslaught of readily available information on the interwebs and just the amount of data and bullshit that's just buzzing by your head at any given point. Nobody even really listens anymore. Like, if it didn't happen in my neighborhood, it didn't happen. If it didn't affect me, why pay attention? You should pay attention. Before Rome fell, sex and identity became, in sex with anyone, became the number one topic. Because what happens when you run out of lands to conquer, and you are no longer searching for other kingdoms to destroy? You have nothing to fight for anymore. You're fat, you're lazy, you have all the money, you have all the influence, you have all the affluence. You're no longer talking about how to strategize to make your people stronger and protect yourself against the invaders. You're no longer just strategizing about how to destroy everyone around you so you can be number one, which is human nature, by the way, just so you know. There's no such thing as a dystopian society where human beings would flourish under one world government or one identity or one anything. Just so you know, it's not in our nature to do so. You can put us all together and call us one world order, and we will break apart in factions, and we will fight each other. It's what humans do. They always have. You can't stop that. It's intrinsic in their nature. But what happens when you hit the pinnacle in from a historical perspective? What's left to conquer? You know, even when you're manufacturing things for us to be afraid of, and by manufacturing I mean making them, you're giving us something to hide from, something to fear. Since God is dead, says Nietzsche 200 years ago. And if you look at the state of the world, God and church is no longer the center for most. Been taken away so people can worship at the altar of self, which is Anton LaVey knew exactly what that was about. What do you do when you run out of shit to do? Well, you make a big deal about stupid shit, and you start normalizing deviant behavior. The deviant behavior's always been there. It's always been in the shadows. But it's like, why keep it in the shadows? Let's just make it normal. Let's take pedophilia and let's call it minor attracted person. Yeah, I mean, it's still cornholing a 2-year-old. Yeah, but let's give it a different name, and then we can take the stigma away. Locke, John Locke and Rousseau, two philosophers, 1800s, 1700s, well, back to 1500s and 1650s. One said man is inherently good, and the other said man is inherently evil. I think that nothing is good nor bad, but thinking makes it so. I know for a fact that a human being's capacity for either is very strong. And the evil part doesn't necessarily have to be buttressed by negative emotion or anger or hostility or fear or anything. Evil acts happen very calmly. You can't always spot evil, not even out of the corner of your eye. You can't always spot it when it's waving its hand in front of your face. You just create the new norm. It's noisy the way it is. Then people will settle. All right, Shelf Help Show. I promise we're not going to be dark for the rest of the day. Thank you, Matthew, for sending me that sheriff interrogation where, yeah, I got to experience the absolute terrifying feeling of what it would be to have somebody trusted in your community, like your local sheriff, raping your daughters. I get the through point was we went to the same high school, Go Santana, but ish. All right, 15 minutes. Mark will be here. Let's do a little 3-minute open. Hey, what's going on, kids? For some reason, that melody from that song just kept pounding over my head over and over again, over and over again. It felt like it went on for like 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Wild. Wild. So, what have you guys been up to? What have you been doing? You know, I appreciate that you actually stopped by and watch. Thank you. It matters. Especially if you're picking this up video on demand. Thank you for that. We're slowly creeping up on the influence chart, which is interesting. I don't know what to make of it yet, but I think we have 137 followers on Twitch, which is, you know, I don't talk about followers anymore. It was interesting in the beginning to kind of hit some milestones and, you know, whatever, I guess, prove something. The numbers come out, and internationally, we still have people watching. There's usually about 250 to 300 people check out the show when it's going on. They don't always stop and chat. I think last week I had I don't know, 15 people in chat, but we have to remember to actually pull up chat and then engage people. So if I don't do that, I am sorry. I am sorry. I should totally change my methodology to, instead of being self-absorbed, to be you-absorbed. I should do that. So I'm going to do that right now. So hi, if you're watching, I'm glad you're here. Hit me up in chat. Say hello. I will pay attention. I will, as long as somebody else is here. Then I'll make them pay attention for me. I got rid of some rats. I got rid of a dozen rats ish. So they say 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got rid of 15 rats. And you're asking yourself, how is that possible? I thought you were at 19 rats and counting, and then you went to 40 rats and you got rid of 15. How many do you have left? I have 30. So I'm guessing I have closer to 50 rats. After a while, you hear more puppies chirping, and you're like, oh, there's another batch. Incest is best, but your sister to the test. What are you doing, rat bro? Running around shooting his gun. That's what they do. It's nuts. So as far as I know, I have only males in one cage. I have only females in another. I do have some outliers over here, which are 4 male. 2 of them are my OGs, Elmer and Timmy. And 2 young bucks that were getting their asses handed to them, you know, in Gen Pop. Emerald City is not for everybody, guys. Prison's a bitch. Okay. We banished Mufasa, the big black one, out of the Emerald City. We did have a run-in with him a few weeks back where I left the back door open. Apparently, he had not perished. He had not gone gently into that good night. And he came back into the house, scared the crap out of the one wild rat that I had left, which is like a grandparent of the hooded rats. And this guy was unstoppable. And he would make me angry because he was polluting my kitchen. I don't mind rats in cages. I can clean the bedding. I can deodorize and sanitize. I do not want a rat going through my drawers or going through my pantry or living underneath my stove. No. So I battled that guy for about 2 months, and finally, you know, shot down in the blaze of glory. 7 shots from a BB gun. Rasputin, I should call him Rasputin. I poisoned him. I drowned him. I lit him on fire. I swear I did everything. And it finally took 3 glue traps, a snap trap, and a human that was finally smarter than the damn rat. And took him out, and just barely. Like, he would have gotten off of those glue traps had I not assumed what position he would have fallen from his perch into the snap trap, and just barely clipped his head. He would snap those traps just for fun. But there's something very relieving about no wild animals in my house. those who are here are where they belong. I keep seeing like I'll see a shadow out of the corner of my eye, and I go, "Oh no, nope." There's nobody making a run for it. Nobody. No. This helm is clear. Yes. Carol Ann. Carol Ann. Yeah. I feel like I had a poltergeist. It was brutal. So what's going on in the YouTubes? So some videos got some views. So, I did this soothing, relaxing music, which is part of, I believe it's an offshoot of the Shelf Help Show channel. Let me find it. Do you want to restore? No, I don't. Run Shelf Help channel dashboard. Let's take a look. Oh, you don't have that, Jeffrey. So I put together these 3-hour videos. We've talked about it on the show, and I might have shown you guys some of them. But these kind of 3-hour relaxing videos of pleasant imagery as well as music for like meditation, chill, relax. So I'm trying to, here we go. I'm trying to release things on these channels with some sort of regularity in order to help out the algorithms, right? Now, I haven't looked into exactly what the algorithms are doing right now. It's probably a combination of comment, like, share that will have them pick up. But I found that a consistency in content on a channel that will help them decide whether or not they can release that to people or they want to suggest it. So, sorry, don't worry about my yawn. It'll go away. So I did that, and I made these little fancy things, and I'm going to show you something. My little fancy videos. It is on the channel. Soothing, relaxing music. This should be Mark coming on. What's up, sir? We are live.
Greetings and salutations.
Greetings and salutations. That's one smart pig.
Hey.
So I was just regaling the audience while I was waiting for you to come aboard. So the soothing, relaxing music channel. That's this one over here. These are some of the soothing and relaxing videos that I've made. So
I remember.
This one had 2 views, and then I unlisted it. Why did I do that? Let's take a peek. Rated Groovy. So anyway, it's 3 hours of this sort of stuff. Yeah. All right. So I'm not doing any advertising, just word of mouth. This video has received 2,215 views. So that's good. Yeah. So we actually hit we hit the sweet spot in the middle of the week, and I'm getting an alert from the YouTube studio, and they're like, "Your shit's going big. It's popping." Basically,
Nice.
Take a look, and I'm like,
Congrats.
I was like, "Whoa!" We had 12 views, and then that day I think we did 1,400 views. So a total of like 50 hours watched. So people are checking it out. It's showing up as recommended by YouTube. 47% means that they're pushing it. So, and then the other was recommended by others, or unknown, unknown origin. Kind of splits it up into halves and thirds. So I was like, well, I guess that's a testament to don't mess with everything, right? So sometimes if you get the right ingredients, which I'm like, a 1 hour to a 3 hour clip once a week is acceptable. Put out a new one once a week. It just adds to the library. It allows people to give something to look at. I was thinking about also then doing like a 15-minute clip for a preview for each one, because we know that when you hit that quarter hour mark and then it takes you to the next,
Mhm.
that increases.
You got a
That-
series, yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Playlist.
I'll probably go do that, and I'll do a playlist of 15 minutes from each one. So like a sample. So people
Mhm.
can go,
Keep the links to the larger file, etc.
yeah. So anyway, don't know what that means. Something's moving finally.
Yeah, Namaste. Johnny will love it, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I was thinking about doing some advertising for the Twitch show and actually, paying for ads and not just not relying on word of mouth or the combined 1,500 people that we all know. And seeing if we can actually drive some traffic to one of the live shows. So I told Missy and John, you guys wanted to give it a shot, I will pay for, I don't know, a couple hundred people, couple hundred views on the live Twitch stream. So at least people stop by for a while. But you can't be dead in the water. And if you want me to carry the whole show, then I'll just do it by myself. So you guys want to do it? Like, yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, because we go into it and then we make this assumption that nobody pays attention, and then I look at the analytics afterward, and even Missy did it the other day. She's like, I haven't been paying attention to chat, but I've only saw like there's only like one person in there, and then there's one bot. I'm like, yeah, I've got like 2 bots that keep track of stuff. She's like, well, there's nothing to keep track of. And then she opens it up and she goes, oh wait, there were like 18 people have been in here today, like during the show. So do you know Commander Root? I'm like, yeah, that was a day 1 follower. And then she starts listing them off. She's like, holy shit. So they're actually.
We have
Yeah,
said some fucked up shit in front of real human beings.
yeah. You assume that no one's watching. That's funny to me. Like we know statistically are. I said engagement is 5% or less, right? Engagement is when they go into chat. So you're gonna get X amount of people are going to view at some level, and then you're gonna have how many people are gonna follow? 20% are gonna follow, 5% are gonna talk. That's it. The rest of it's a numbers game. So if there's one person, you need to assume there's 200 people watching. She's like, oh. So if you want to find out who those people are, then start talking to them. Engage them. Give them a reason. So that's what morning radio shows do.
Mhm.
Like, all right, guys, we're gonna play a game with you. I need you to come into chat and answer these questions for me. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Sweet."
whatchamacallit, that conservative YouTube talk guy that we talked about a while back, the Black Conservative Patriot.
Yeah.
He's got some good engagement examples on his show that I'm sure drives traffic. Like he on some of his live shows, he involves the chat, and I'd say 1 in 5 shows, he makes a point to go through and engage people in the chat live,
Right.
to make sure that they're included, acknowledged, and so on. It's got people and it's also to remind us that it's not just viewers in the United States,
Right.
It's like all over the world. He had like Australia and Japan and he had Dubai, something. He was just rattling off saying hello to people from different parts of the world as he was on his
Right.
show. And I was like, that was eye opener. Like looking at that shit going, ooh,
Yeah.
you never know who's watching.
We have people in Myanmar,
Fucking there you go.
Burma, like it's
Myanmar. Yeah, exactly.
we have people in Vietnam. We have people in Germany. We have people in the Netherlands. It shows me it's on the map.
Hmm.
I would learn how to say hello and thank you in all those languages, but we all know that American is the only language that everybody knows.
Well, it is the international language.
American.
We can hedge our bets with that a little bit.
It is for now until we're no longer the currency of you want to be the reserve currency. Trust me, you do. You want people trading in you, not trading in somebody else. Yeah. But I don't know if I feel like raging against the machine today. I watched a 20-minute internal affairs kind of an interview with the sheriff who had been accused of inappropriate conducts and contact with minor women, minor females.
Oh, here we go.
And yeah, it turned out he had seduced them, took them back individually, 4 of them, and had his way with them at his house. So yeah, thanks Matthew for sending me that video, reminding me that dark, ugly, fucking human beings are everywhere.
Matthew.
Yeah.
He had a little fun adventure I saw on social, which was cool. There's like which I didn't know existed. There's some micro version of Stonehenge out somewhere here in
yeah.
central West Texas. I saw some of his photos from that. So it was
that looked like fun.
Kind of fun. The drive for him is a couple hours or so less than it would be for me to go check that out. So for me, that'll be more than I think a day trip, but definitely seemed cool. They got some smaller, we'll say like by 10 feet smaller renditions of the heads from Easter Island.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Alongside with that. So that'd be pretty cool. You get random off the grid flip phone. There you go. Nothing like algorithms to keep you off the man. Yeah.
So I busted the screen on my phone. Well, I mean, slowly. I've been chipping away at it. I tend to fall asleep with it in my hand and it falls onto the floor.
Sure.
Now the bottom half won't not be yellow light. So I realize it's time to get a new one. But I went on Instacart and I ordered a track phone for $20.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking I'm just going to pull the SIM out of there because I made sure this was GSM, which is T-Mobile compatible. And I would just drop the SIM in here and then just use this as my phone while, I arrange getting a new updated phone.
Sure.
And it didn't take it. So I had to pay $20 to put a line on this. My other one works enough that I can get the messages to my computer and whatnot, but I don't know if I can answer it. So I got this new number. I started texting Rebecca, knowing that she was at a pool party from this unknown number.
Like, what are you wearing?
Hey, you're hot, Becky. I never called her Becky, so I knew that would throw her off the scent. She responded appropriately, which was,
"Who is this?
How you doing? Hey, you got a boyfriend?
You guys are similar."
Oh. You got a man friend? Oh, maybe. No, let's see. What did she say? I thought she's gonna get pissed. I said, what are you doing? And then you are so hot, Becky. She gets trolled all the time by the world. It trolls her on her social media. They DM her. Like, we went to school together. You want to fuck? She's like, what is wrong with people? Like, well, you're getting younger every day and looking younger every day. And they're just like, I want some of that.
Well, she's doing posts like you do. I'm seeing recently where she's doing like those little reels where she's like, you sent me one where she read the quote off of whatever the hell it was written on or whatever.
Yeah.
Then she's got her doing like her mug shot where it's like her all close up in the screen like you are right now, you know,
Yes.
riling off either a joke or I love the one about was it yesterday or something where she's talking about she's unsure if she should heal from her traumas, otherwise she won't be funny
She won't be
anymore. Or
funny,
something like that sounded like
Yeah.
something you would say.
Yeah.
I think you're rubbing off on her.
Your trauma gives you your edge.
Well, yeah.
Those defense mechanisms you don't realize until you go to therapy and get medicated that you're no longer the center of the universe or life of the party.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
what happened to you? And I'm like, I got well.
Yeah. It's like all those bands when their music starts to suck. What happened? Fixed our problems.
Yeah. Yeah. You realize that.
How'd you
The
fix your
angst-
problems? I could afford to go to counseling and I didn't have to worry about paying bills anymore.
Right.
Magic. Yeah.
And you start trading liquor and pills for therapy and bills, and well, you're probably not gonna have the same output creatively anymore.
Nah, just
No,
ruin it. It's like then all of a sudden you're doing documentaries and what the fuck, what was it? Eddie Vedder and Laird Hamilton are out there on the beach. I think we're soulmates. We gotta go surfing together. When did you guys meet? Last week. You know, it's just like
those two.
that was a good documentary though.
I'm sorry, who is this? And I said, the love of your life. She knew it was me. I guess nobody else is that person. Why are you texting
You
me
say
from this
that
number?
pretty
And
consistent.
why did you call me Becky?
Oh, Becky. Look at her
Becky,
butt.
look at her
She's
butt.
like one of those white guys' girlfriends or black guys' girlfriends.
I like big butts. Oh,
Yeah.
I like tight butts.
Dude, I had a pianist at work last night and I got him to it's like a
Pianist.
lounge singer kind of thing, but
Yeah.
it's a piano. And he
Pianist.
had an auto tune device with him. So when we got to like the later part of business, I got him to do It's Getting Hot in Here.
Oh, nice.
And it was like you just see people in the bar in the restaurant as the night was kind of winding down. And I had him play like Toto or something before that.
Mhm.
And then when he broke into that, you can see like people were just hanging out at the table, listening to the music, and they're just like every woman in the restaurant was just like, what? And then like you'd see like people on a date and like the girls like singing he knows every word, you know, to the guy that they're hanging out with at the little table. And I'm
That's
all
awesome.
the other manager, I looked at him like, I think we just got that guy laid. Because that date ratcheted it up for sure. Just by playing that song. He was impressed, clearly like, yes, like this is going well. I wasn't sure my date was going this well, but now it is. It's great.
That's funny.
I got him to do Master of Puppets also on the piano, which was
Nice.
it was good. It was not great, but it was good. So my
I
old
like piano bars. I like dueling pianos.
I
I like that setup.
I've been around a lot of bands and bars and restaurants and whatnot, but I've never been to a dueling piano bar.
Quite fun.
When I was in OC, there was some like legendary one in Long Beach I always wanted to go to. Can't even remember what it's called right now, but yes, I'm all about that.
I like the fact that you can, throw them a couple bucks in their fish jar and then request songs, and
Yeah,
they're like a live jukebox.
dude, the same guy did WAP last week.
Nice.
I wasn't
I
there.
like
I missed it, but it's one of those things where that comes out and like people don't notice what the lyrics are right away, and it's one of those like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's
Don't
like
bring your kids,
Doug. What's his name? Hennig. 369. Damn, you're fine.
Doug Hennick,
Doug Hennig,
from
yeah.
King's X.
Suck it to me, baby, one more time. Yeah, I love it. From the window to the wall till sweat drops down my balls.
Oh,
Bitches crawl. Oh, ski ski. Motherfucker.
Now
Shorty
it's
crunk.
that's a slow jam. Where it's a Def
Mhm.
Jam at a fucking coffee house. And Fucking 2
Mhm.
a.m.
I made a couple of additional Jordan Peterson shorts for complimenting of the channel from which I don't know. I think
I like Peterson. I feel like he was in a dry spell for the stuff I was listening to for a while because shit would pop up on YouTube and I'm all just putting me to sleep or irritating me. Not like on content, but just his voice. And then
Yeah.
you sent me a couple things which were good, and so I started listening to more. And I'm on a Peterson kick. This past week he's got some good shit.
Yeah, those couple are ones that I crafted. It's what the fuck is it? I want to get 3.8 million views on my Jordan Peterson shorts, so that would be cool. I'm gonna find one I want to share with you.
What the fuck are you wearing on your neck? What is that? Look,
Today.
is that a sash? What is that?
This is a cum rag. Yeah, I think it's what they call it.
Wow, that escalated quickly.
Gross. No, it's one of those. Hey, it's summertime. You want to pay $8 for a chamois that will keep you cool?
No,
It's it's to
Bro-
keep you cool.
a chamois, as in a sham wow for your
Kind
cum
of, yeah.
stains. That's great.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah,
see that
except the
infomercial.
It's in a package and it's like, it's a moist toilette. It's a moist toilette for you. Oh, Bert.
And it's big enough that you could do the two-hand clean the undercarriage kind of shit too, right?
Oh yeah, that's really what I'm looking for. I want to be able to rub my genitals
With your cum rag.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to clean the runway.
I want there to be smoke and sobbing. Oh, it hurts. Why? Why did you make me do that?
You got to stop watching Seven.
Jeffrey. This one. Where's that stupid video? You know what I like? I like the fact that I have 9 YouTubes, so it's really easy for me to keep track of where I put something. You know, makes
Sure.
moments like this really like value add. Switch accounts. Self-help show. Your videos. Take me to my fucking studio. Okay, that's mine. That's good. We're getting closer. Your videos. Here we go. Oh,
Stay on target.
stay on target.
Almost there.
Oh, it's like shooting womp rats back home.
My T-38.
No bull. Elvis Presley. Rats. I didn't really actually put anything over here at all, did I? What the hell am I doing, Jeffrey? Do you even know what the hell you're doing? You're a joke. Gosh, why are you so abusive? Dad? Well, hi. I'm sorry, where was I? I fell asleep. That seemed like a sad story. Wasn't really.
I was waiting for you to answer. You'd answered all your own previous questions.
What are you talking about? So, catch me up, man. What's been going on with in your neck of the woods? I know we had some promising, like, gonna move forward with some dreams and some hurry up and waits and
That's still in traction.
Yeah.
Still developing the multiple streams of revenue. Yeah, some new shit has come to light. I got a meeting on Wednesday for some outside of work activities, which is really like coincidentally odd how it relates to last week's show. Because you know how you did your whole review, that documentary on Shaq?
Yeah.
meeting I have on Wednesday is to give some thoughts and consulting point of views kind of thing. Not necessarily into the project work, at least
From
at this
Shaq?
point. But it'll be on that Shaquille O'Neal's new restaurant concept.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember you kind of bringing that up on the, yeah.
Well, I had mentioned, because you brought up Shaq, and I mentioned
Yeah.
that my buddy, my chef buddy from California, was involved in that new concept with Shaq, and because he had posted some pictures on Facebook or whatever, social.
Right.
And then I had a potential investor that wanted to open a concept with me a couple of years ago. One of my regular guests that rolled through the dining room on Friday. He had been trying to get me to sit down with him recently, and I was under the weather on Monday and Tuesday, so I wasn't up to going out and meeting with him and the executives with his company. They're his brother and cousins. They're all, it's a family-owned business, and they own a large number of different types of franchise businesses. But he's like, hey, we need to get together and I want to chat about some things and get your opinion, so on and so forth. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, and I wasn't able to mention it before, but it's the new concept with Shaquille O'Neal. And I was just like, no shit. Because we just talked about that shit last week. So yeah, we'll see if there's any fire with that smoke as this week comes up.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. I manifest things to make them happen for other people.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah, I still got the boys are all in as far as the consulting firm and that kind of thing. So teams assembled. I'm settling things right now with the job for some projects, and then I'll set up some time to start building out some packages that can be sold. And I can start shipping the boys out to do the legwork.
Whenever you see the boys, I think you like talking about your testicles or something. Like,
I was
boys.
on the phone with my best friend Josh before the podcast just moments ago, and I said something about the boys, and he made the exact same comment. What the fuck is up with the nuts tonight?
The boys. Hey,
Someone says the boys, I think of the
the
show.
boys. The boys are
that's
getting hot
on Amazon. I think of the show. I don't
boys
think
are a
of
little warm in there.
yeah,
Make sure the boys are okay.
the nut patch of
Keep your
superheroes.
fucking hands off your boys. Hey,
Can't see my hands, can
my
you?
boys. Are you wearing basketball shorts?
I am. I 100% am wearing basketball shorts.
Oh, that's gross and amazing. And I'm hungry.
Is that
Coffee?
Robin Williams skit? Mama's gonna want a big pair of balls on top of her Easter basket or something like that. Was that from Live on Broadway?
Paste. There we go. Son of a bitch. Sorry. I realized I was doing something. I have two computers, and I was typing on the wrong keyboard for the wrong computer and getting pissed off that it wasn't working.
I hate when that happens.
Me too. I'm about to piss myself. So real quick, I'm going to show
Yeah, me
you.
too.
Do you have to go? It's me.
I'm just gonna refill my decaf over here. I have to work at a not completely early hour tomorrow, so
Okay.
I got an hour or so tops. But I'm gonna
Okay.
get some decaf.
Do it. I'll be 1 minute, and then we'll play this while we're gone.
I knew I loved you then, but you'd never know.
I think I had the volume at 11.
Yeah, the banjo was pretty solid.
Welcome back, Shelf Up Joe. So what was I doing? Oh, I was queuing up a Jordan Peterson joint for you. One that I put together using Descript, which is a fantastic video and audio editing software that you edit by changing the words, and it'll edit the video for you also. It's kind of cool. And then if you, let's say that you're the voiceover, you can create an avatar of yourself, basically. So if you leave something out or you want to add something in, you can type it in and it says it as you in the video.
Very cool.
You have to authorize it to be built with the company, so you can't like go make like a Jordan Peterson clone, because you have to use his voice. He would have to use his voice to authorize himself. You know what I mean? Unless you had somebody who was really clever, who used other methods of deep fake cloning. And then the fun part is then you have an avatar of Jordan Peterson. Not that specifically you would want to do anything bad, because I love the guy. I do. He filled in blanks in my thought process that I didn't even know existed. And he's coming back strong and hard, raging against the machine. So this is the one that I made just to be goofy, I believe. The 12 damn terrible rules for meaningful malevolence. Parody, it says. Understand? It's a parody, okay? So if you guys know the backstory, 12 Rules for Life is the book that put them on the map. It's a great book. It really is. It's just about putting your life together, being a man or woman, handle your business, handle your business, get your shit together, have a goal, treat people with respect. Don't try to change the world before you can, make your bed. Basic good parental advice. So I made this. I didn't start off for it to be anything weird, but then I was having such a good time.
Rules for life, 12 rules for life. We're so damn tough, you can't believe the 12 rules for life. And so then what you discover is that there's a spirit within you that can pursue something meaningful, that has the resilience and the strength to contend properly with the catastrophe of 12 rules for life without becoming bitter. And I would say that's one of the central themes of 12 rules for life, is that make no mistake about it. The first noble truth of Buddhism, life is contaminated. This is true. And it's worse than 12 rules for life, because it's suffering contaminated by 12 rules for life. That's the 12 rules for life. And so that's very 12 rules for life. But the optimistic part is that you are so damn tough, you can actually not only deal with that, you can improve the 12 rules for life. You are so damn tough, you can't believe the 12 rules for life. Oh, that's a horrible situation. But it turns out that I'm armed for the task. That's a great thing for people to know. The fact that we're armed for the task is even more true than the fact that 12 rules for life is catastrophe contaminated by malevolence. We're stronger than things are terrible. And 12 rules for life are pretty terrible. We're stronger than 12 rules for life. So that means we're pretty damn strong. We're stronger than the catastrophe of 12 rules for life. It's a very good thing to know. And it's not naive optimism. It's a very different thing. It's no, 12 rules for life are terrible. They're brutal. And you are so damn tough, you can't believe it. And I would say horrible is terrible. Pessimistic, contaminated 12 rules for Buddhism is even more horrible situation. This is true. And it's worse than that. 12 rules for Buddhism is malevolence. Damn Buddhism, damn 12 rules for life. This is 12 damn terrible rules for meaningful malevolence.
You amuse you.
All right, whatever. I thought it was amusing. I did not
Like the
put
like the 12 rules for life.
12 rules for life. 12 rules for life. I didn't publish that one. What got my attention was Hunter forward. I think he might have actually sent me an Instagram, which is like, I felt so fucking honored that, you know, my son put me on his IG forward,
On the gram, yeah.
the gram, you know, that I had to find everyone that he followed and follow them too, so I don't become irrelevant in my old age. Anyway, I didn't do that.
I actually had someone ask me if I knew what Snapchat was the other day.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Or no, TikTok.
Yeah,
I
that's
got
where-
asked
that's
if I
where I
knew
get
what
pictures of
TikTok
your
was.
That's where I get pictures of your mom's pussy from.
Everybody with those tourism videos of the Grand Canyon has that.
Hmm, I don't understand.
Go watch, rewatch Predator in your free time.
So I was going down on this woman, and I said, "Damn, you got a big pussy. Damn, you got a big pussy." She said, "Why'd you say it twice?" I didn't.
Didn't. You picked that one up pretty quick.
You're welcome.
Let's
Let's
see.
see. Grazie. Let's see. Here we go. All right,
There
I
you
can
go.
share. I got my IG up now. Because IG. This is what Hunter sent me this. Oh,
Click
This.
the mute, bottom right corner.
Rats are all like this. The rat goes like this. So the rat's like this. The normal rat is like this. That's the normal rat. Like this, like this. It sniffs. It's like this for quite a while. He's like this. And then maybe he sniffs. Rat is this. The rats are all like this. The rat goes like this. So the rat's like this. The normal rat is like this. That's the normal rat. Like this, like this. It sniffs. It's like this for quite a while. It's like this. And then maybe he sniffs. Rat is this.
I appreciate that Hunter sent that to you as well.
yes. The rat thing was relevant. Obviously, he's like rats and Jordan Peterson. That's Dad's two favorite
Done.
things.
Done. Checked all the boxes right there.
You just put like smoked meats and pussy in there. I would have been like, oh, I'm gonna die now.
Hashtag the love of my life. That should have made it in there somewhere.
Well, that was a
You could have
smoked
just superimposed that over the top of the photo. That's it.
meat. Honey, I know you weren't feeling good, so I got you some smoked meat, some Jordan Peterson clips, a couple rats, and this pussy. Oh, baby. I love
Oh,
you. You're my favorite.
romance.
Oh, I always say that men and women can't be friends, but you're almost like a friend. Except you're female.
Not
Oh,
quite ready to graduate to friend yet, but keep putting in the hours.
Here's how I know that men and women generally aren't friends. Because women get called whores when they hang out with males that they call their friends. That's how I know. That's how I know. Generally. Whatever. Hunter brought this habanero tahini.
You know, I've had dudes that are friends and ladies that I've known, and something that women have done for me that my guy friends have never done. Never had a guy friend referred to me another guy friend to fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, women are much better like that.
Oh, yeah. Because they're like, oh, she a hoe. Yeah, she'll do you. And I don't mean any, I don't mean anything by that. She don't care. You got blue eyes, she'll fuck you, Mark.
Still like my brother. Let me see if I give you that shit.
Mm. I'm putting some tahini in my Coors Light to see if it tastes like a better. It bubbled in my eye.
It's not how that's supposed to go.
That's how you make a michelada, right?
Yeah, on the rim of the glass.
Oh, the lime juice,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
Clamato.
yeah.
When does that part come in? You don't
The
just dump.
tahini? No,
You don't just dump
it's on
tahini
the
in the.
rim of the glass. Not
I've been out of the
inside.
beer. I've been out of the beer scene for a decade. Can you tell?
Yeah, and I'm proud of that.
The rat goes
That
like this.
I helped course correct that.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
me too.
So
Yeah.
you want to play? You want to play a game?
Do you want to play a game?
Do you want to
Yes.
play a game?
How about thermonuclear war?
Sounds dangerous, Matthew Broderick. The rat goes like this. The best social media growth company. Boost your brand and reputation.
Speaking of social media, did you hear about Zuckerberg on his interview? Was it with Rogan?
Tell me. Haven't seen it yet.
Well, they asked him, and they're like, "So during the presidential election, did you like censor the Hunter Biden content off of Facebook?" It's like, well, we'll call it censoring, but we did reduce its viewership at the request of the FBI. So they used non-techie words to say they shadow banned the content about Hunter Biden. They're like, well, FBI usually knows, what they're talking about. So, we just trusted them. So it's like trying to totally
They said
put it
Russian
off on the
disinformation,
FBI.
and we all
Yeah.
know that that was proven to be right for no one so far.
Yeah, Russian disinformation about Hunter Biden with video footage. Oh man, what was it was a congressman or a senator that was interviewing the assistant director of the FBI this week and was questioning them as into why they didn't check out that laptop. And the guy was like, essentially going, "That's not my area." The guy just said over and over again, like, "That's not my area," because he's the head of cyber investigations, whatever. I think he was trying to say because it wasn't something on the internet that he literally wasn't responsible for that area. He's like, "But aren't you the assistant director of the FBI?" He's like, "Well, yeah." They're like, "So when are you guys gonna look into this shit?" I was like, "Well, that's not my area." And he's like, "Okay." He's like, "I can pass on your request to the appropriate parties."
No way.
3 years after they've had possession. And so then I think, was it Gates? I think it was the guy's last name, Gates. And so then
Yeah.
the guy on
Matt Gates, yeah.
yeah, so then Matt Gates goes, "Well, I'm going to request then, since right now, just so we can get this thing evaluated, I have the content of Hunter Biden's laptop," and he holds up like this fat memory stick, and he's like, "I'd like to admit this into evidence." And Schumer that's overseeing the proceedings is like, "Whoa!" Tries to shut it down, and couldn't shut it down, so it got admitted into evidence.
Really?
Because you can, whatever gets admitted into evidence can be done by unanimous vote. And anybody not want this in, they're like, put it in. Like nobody said not to put it in. So now
Wow.
it's in there.
Wow. That's
Cocaine
crazy.
hose and hand grenades. It's in now.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So now it's in, that means it could be referenced at any point.
Oh yeah. And then we'll get 2 days later. We have the Emperor Palpatine speech from Joe Biden
What the hell was that?
with the red light and
With
shit.
the
man.
red light against the brick wall with the
MAGA supporters are now enemies of the United States. They're eating away at the fabric of America. And then the next day he comes out on the news going, no, I didn't mean that. He's like, it's
Dude.
totally reeled it back in. I'm like, it's on tape, bro. You said exactly that.
he is such a fucking puppet, dude.
Dude, they're like, dude, we let him off his meds again? God damn it.
No, that was all. No, that was planned. That was 100% theater. And then he made believe like it wasn't a partisan stump speech paid for by the Democratic National Convention.
No, sure. But I mean,
he acted like it was
66
official.
memes off that shit that are everywhere.
Yeah.
I was like,
He made believe like it was a official state business, which is ridiculous because it wasn't. He bought the airtime. They bought the production to do it. It was a Biden rally. That's all that was.
I have
But
Democrat friends on my social media that were just like, what the fuck just happened? Like, forget party lines. What the fuck is the Emperor Palpatine shit that just went on the news
Right.
today? You know?
right. They're testing the resolve of the American people. They're like, how much can we get away with? When they came out and they said the Department of Misinformation
Oh yeah,
it started, and you guys say the wrong thing and you're gonna go to jail.
that lasted what, a month?
Yeah, not even
They're like,
that.
"Ma, we gotta shut that down." People
But
are
then,
freaking out.
because everybody flipped, and so then they come out with the next thing, which is 86,000 IRS agents
Mhm.
who are
Armed.
armed, trained under Department of Homeland
We
Security.
better delete that
Which
shit off
means-
of the internet.
No due process, people. Do you
Right.
fucking know what that means? No due process. Fuck, you're
Damn.
right.
But that's what they test this shit out. And then the fact is regardless of party affiliation, most people may have their opinions, but most people are fucking normal human beings. And they just go, what the fuck is that? Regardless of Democrat, Republican, or whatever. When weird shit happens, people go, that's some weird shit. You guys aren't gonna do that.
They don't do it until they do it. What's going to happen with Mayorkas? Isn't he the head of Homeland Security, right? Border Patrol.
I've lost
That guy,
track.
he's
I
a
used to live
complete,
down the street from Homeland Security in DC.
he's a complete mother effing liar. He's just a complete liar. The border's secure. It's 100% secure. There's nobody coming across. It's all myth. I mean, we can probably tighten it up a little bit more, but at this point, guys, we haven't had a single immigrant come across since we've been in charge.
No, of course not. Between the party buses of immigrants that Greg Abbott's dumping off in DC and New York, and the fact that the wall is now complete in Texas. It's just like Abbott was like, oh yeah, internal state of emergency. We're rolling out the National Guard to the border. Biden's like, what the fuck are you doing? What I'm allowed to do by law. Thanks.
Yeah.
That fucking national park in Arizona, when they got locked up like 25 square miles when McCain was still in office down there. That was the crazy shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. What was it?
There was a national park that went all the way to the border, and there's a lot of trafficking going through there. But it was so extreme, they built a wall around 25 square miles of the park on US soil. And what the solution was, we don't go in there anymore.
Oh yeah. Just ignore it.
Yeah, well,
Nothing
and
to
that-
see there.
But they hired contract mercenaries to go in there and fight the cartel since they couldn't deploy US troops on American soil. And so like the neighborhoods that are on the other side of the wall, you know, hearing automatic gunfire in the middle of the night when like Blackwater's in there taking out cartel people, which all itself is probably not, is pretty disconcerting as well, because if you're a Blackwater guy and you run into some cartel, no, we have lots of money. Hey, that's what we work for. Go on it.
Hey.
I mean, you know, that'd be fun. We got paid twice.
When I'm sorry, when Obama and his right hand man, the what was it, not district attorney, the
Attorney General.
Attorney General Eric Holder,
Mhm.
when they got popped for the running guns to the cartel, Operation Fast and Furious,
Yeah.
they were not just implicated, but
Yeah, that happened.
yeah. How did they get away with that?
I just didn't talk about it, I think.
Oh, that was it. They just like, yeah. Didn't Holder say that he had executive privilege? That he had executive privilege because he and Obama were buds. They were tight, so he didn't have to say anything ever. Everything he knew was covered under executive privilege.
Yeah, that's a little back in my memory, which
they
I'm
just
sure is
let it-
what they plan on with this stuff. They just hold off prosecuting anybody long enough, we'll forget about it.
Then you have Trump, where they say, well, according to what's that thing called? The Constitution of the United States, that the president can declassify anything. Sole discretion. And then they said, yeah, well, no, but he couldn't have declassified those things because that's not right.
But it
Well,
is.
he did, and he has the sole authority to do that.
Yeah. And every president before him did the same thing. It's so they can not be president and still contribute when they're needed. It's the whole
Right.
point of that thing.
So, and then what's with Biden in May, as he's pushing
Oh yeah, baby. Here you go.
the
Here you go.
DOJ, he's pushing them. Why haven't you guys fucking taken him out yet? And they're like, we don't have any grounds to do it. Plus, he has executive privilege, and this whole thing with the records and whatnot. There's no crime attached to it. There never has been. And he goes, well, first off, we'll make it a crime. So don't worry about that. Secondly, says Emperor Biden, I waive his executive privilege.
Right.
At which point, the member of FBI says, can you put that in writing, please? Because I'm not moving forward unless you put that in writing. And then addresses that in writing. The reason I move forward with it is because Emperor Biden took away the other president's executive privilege. Well, as if he waved a goddamn magic fucking wand.
You can't
And he's now the
retroactively
Constitution.
do it. Can't retroactively do it. So it's still declassified material. And then when Biden's like, I had no idea they were going to raid Mar-a-Lago. Well, how was that? Because they couldn't if you didn't do what you did.
Right. You motherfucking piece
Oh,
of
I
shit.
forgot because I'm old and I have dementia.
Oh,
That's where you
yeah.
like, and then you see how like him and Kamala don't even get along. I'm like, Harris is just sitting there going, I don't know what the fuck he's doing either. Fuck that guy. It's just like, I'm crazy too, but fucking look at that. It's just like, dude, like she's out.
I remove his executive. You're
Yeah.
not the king. Oh, and the student loan debt that didn't pass. That's not a law. You can't do that. You cannot. There's no executive fucking order
Mhm.
for waiving student loan debt.
Right.
The only thing you can do in your position, dickhead, by precedent, is move a due date or a default date for an institution that's attached to the federal government. Aside from that, which is just about your obligation to try and keep the government in action and not defaulting. Aside from the fact that you can push due dates, there's no law. There's no law that says the people who have the wherewithal or didn't go to college are going to pay the taxes or pay to offset for the people who went to college and never were not able to pay off their debt. That's just weird to me. I thought this was funny though. I'm surprised nothing was done about this. Apparently, African American women are a very high percentage of those who are enrolled in school, in college, secondary and master's degree programs. They have the highest amount of debt incurred. And let's say that they
Advanced
are,
education.
let's say they represent less than 8% of the, less than 4.5% of the population. They're like 16% of the enrolled students. And then amongst females, they're like 60%. Like white women, Asian women, they don't go to school as much as Black women do. So I thought that was interesting. But
That
their
is
debt is
interesting.
also $52,000 of debt.
That's not a huge
versus-
number. I'm gonna start dating Black women. I need
should.
smarter women in my life.
But their school debt, their skill loan debt is like 52, where the average Caucasian, I guess, or the average everybody else is like 26, something like that. That's what they figured out. So they have twice as much debt, and more of them go. So based on just per capita calculations, the percentage of debt that exists in school loan debt that's never or not paid back is driven heavily by a specific community and gender of person. Now they bitched immediately because Biden didn't come out and raise that minimum to 52,000 because they're like, this is not right. This doesn't help us at all. What does 10 grand do for us? Or what does 26 grand if it's a Pell Grant? What does that do for us? At which point I thought
That's
yeah,
based
well-
on the pursuit of advanced degrees, if what I'm hearing correctly.
well, undergrad and graduate.
Yeah.
They're a higher percentage total.
But they're racking up more dollars because they're pursuing more education. That's what I'm hearing, right?
There's more of them. There's more of them engaged in pursuing.
Right, but the individual within that group is accruing more debt because they are going to college longer for more advanced degrees.
But not on average, but yes,
Well,
there's
then
like
how would they, yeah, that's how they're getting 52 instead of 26 in your analysis there, right?
you would think you would do simple math, right? Undergrad should take you 4 years. Master's should take you an additional 2. But if they're going for 10 and they maximize all of their deductions and all of their loan amounts to make sure, this is just what I researched, that they're paying their bills with that money. They don't work. I thought this was interesting. The percentage of college degreed women who work versus college degreed African American women who work is like it's like non-existent. It's like the pursuit of education is there for the pursuit of education, but not specifically for the pursuit of occupation, which is why they're not paying their loans off either.
Yeah. I've dated more
And
than a
I'm
couple
not saying,
women
I'm
that
not saying
pursued-
all.
No, but I've dated more than a couple women that pursued advanced degrees, and all of them worked, but minimally, like 20 hours a week.
Right.
And then when those opportunities came up, when it was, finals or the last year of a graduate degree or whatever, a lot of them barely worked at all, if at all, between the ones that I know personally. So I'm sure, depending upon what year it is, what's going on, I mean, to be incentivized not to, so they don't fuck it up.
I'm wondering. To me, it was like a positive. I'm glad to see that 67% of the degrees that are awarded amongst African Americans are for women. So the women are getting the degrees, not the men. I'm glad to see that as a, per capita, there's more pursuing education. I think that's fantastic. I wonder why of those who graduate that don't ever go into the workforce. That's interesting, because that is interesting to me. So I thought,
Yes, the 3 women that I know with advanced degrees either worked in their professions based on their advanced degrees temporarily,
Mhm.
but none of them utilize their degrees today for what they do for a living. Not one. And one girl I know had 2 advanced degrees and still uses neither degree for her.
yeah. Well, sometimes people are really good at getting educated.
Mhm.
We don't need that many intellectuals in this society, so probably use some more plumbers.
Entrepreneurs,
But
inventors.
I wondered how much of it is based on the welfare state. If you start adjusting dynamics in a welfare state, I mean, what looks better to you as a unmarried, person of color, Black person, whatever. If you're 2 generations were just welfare recipients and they start preaching you to go to college, you find out you can go to college, you can spend the next 6 to 8 years, play it right, getting paid to do that.
Well, fuck, man. If I was 3rd generation in my family of being in the welfare state, I mean, it's not like you're surrounded by people shooting for the moon at that point.
Right.
Given circumstances in different generations, especially for minorities, the challenges are different. It's obviously better today than it ever has been in the past. But 3 generations of watching my parents and grandparents suffer or live with less, and then
Yeah.
grow up in that atmosphere. If I can't say I would harbor one ill will for someone that said, you know what, the system's been fucking my family for generations, and now finally I figured out the system that it'll help me get out of this shit.
Yeah.
And then if I had if I was in that situation as a grandparent and I saw my granddaughter all of a sudden just kind of rise up and above, it'd be pretty fucking awesome.
No, I think it's pretty amazing. I think where there's a
And if it
disconnect.
took longer because circumstances in that person's life are more difficult, like if it took them 10 years instead of 6 or
Right,
whatever.
because
to
they still have a
achieve that goal.
kid that they have to make their, grandma,
Yeah,
grandma
or-
raise and
or whatever they're contributing to
You
the
gotta stop,
household in
right?
some way,
Yeah.
like tactily or financially, whatever. The girls that I knew that went to school were in situations where their families did well enough to provide that for them. It wasn't because they were enduring a struggle or becoming the first person to make a good living in their family.
right.
So and then they all jettisoned the whole thing and pursued other things that didn't require it. So
Right.
I don't know. I would say that's admirable. Yeah.
It's a positive trend, right? It's a point in the right direction, and that made me happy. I guess I kept wanting to answer for well, why aren't we working, people? And then I just thought back generationally through the exact same matrices, and you're like, well, work ethic is different. If work ethic had not been instilled, because the government made sure that it was not instilled. The government made it so that if your baby daddy lived in your household, you would get no money. Get him out.
Correct.
The government makes it so that if you don't lie and cheat and steal, you'll barely get by. And then you have to lie to the government.
Yeah, the dishonesty is rewarded. My best
You
friend in
have
high
to.
school, his sister had 3 children. When she had her first kid, there was early teenage years. I think she was 15. A year or so after that, her and her baby daddy wanted to be together, and his parents were not able to take care of him. He came from a bad situation. The only way they were able to have him live in the home without losing the benefits therein they would get is
Yeah.
her parents adopted him. So on paper, her pseudo husband was her brother, because they adopted him after their child was
Right.
born, so they could live in the home together and attempt to build something, even though they were very, very young. That fizzled out. He left. She had 2 more kids with 2 different guys, and the volume of money that came to this household because of her welfare state situation with the 3 kids with non-supportive fathers and so on, while she worked under the table as a bartender making cash unreported. And then of course her parents got dividends off of caring for everybody. It was substantial.
Yeah.
And it was a situation of abuse. And there was a lot of tables turned over at that house when Bush Jr. passed the time limit for welfare for someone to receive it in the state of, I guess federally. Like they were like, well, what are we gonna do? The train's over. We got 2 years to lock this up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you already have a job. Like, y'all live together. You don't even pay rent. Like,
It's wild, right?
some
It's
of us
wild.
actually had 3 jobs at a time to make sure we could take care of our kids. It's just like, so everybody's
Yeah.
people are
But-
people.
People are trained to think that way. They're just
Well, yeah, when you incentivize people to behave like pieces of shit, and
And
then
it's
you
not-
punish
it's not
them for
like-
doing the right thing.
and they say, well, they just need to get a better job. They need to get this, they need to get that. I'm like, well, listen, you've set them up so that they can have enough food, enough rent, and enough in health insurance to eke out an existence, and then scrape up everything you can through illegal underground, dealings and make sure your situation never changes for the better. Because if you want to have insurance for your family, let's take spouse out of it. Let's assume that none of them ever have spouses. You now have a minimum of, if you have a great plan, a minimum with a high deductible plan, you're going to be chunking out $500 to $700 a month for you and a couple of kids. And that's with like a $3,000 or $6,000 family deductible, which you got to put, like nothing's covered. You're paying out of pocket until something catastrophic happens, basically.
Right.
But you're insured. So you go, okay, well, what does it take to generate that amount of revenue from an employer or from an employee rather? So let's say it's going to be like $500-700 a month. Let's say $7,200 a year. Let's make it $8,000 a year.
Mhm.
So it's going to cost you $8,000 a year for the privilege of having a high deductible insurance policy that you have to pay every cost for the first $3,000 more dollars. Okay. So that means in order to get your insurance to kick in, you're gonna have to spend $10,000 in that year in order for the insurance to actually pay. So you're paying for the right to have it. You're paying because you legally have to. It doesn't actually provide any coverage for your kids until you meet their deductibles, which means you're paying for their shots. You're paying for everything, checkups, everything,
Mhm.
out of pocket.
Right.
If nothing catastrophic happens, the insurance company never pays a penny.
Right.
Because it takes a long time to spend $3,000 or $6,000 on a family.
Yeah,
It
but
fucking does.
insurance lobbyists, don't they account for like 25% of lobbyists or something like that?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, fuck those
it's-
people.
It's something I'm
And
saying.
I've been a licensed insurance agent for 25 years in multiple, but fuck people. So
My insurance just got doubled because to avoid another car from hitting me, I scratched my fender.
Mm,
So
yep.
literally just
Single-
a scratch. So yeah,
single car
now
loss of
my,
control, damage over $500, 3-year penalty.
yeah. So I got a new provider that pulled it back a little bit as of yesterday, but it's just like all the same. It's just like not my fault. Like it was otherwise I would have hit this guy head on, or he would have hit me rather, because I was, the way it worked
You'd have
out.
done it. Your rates
And-
wouldn't have gone up, but you may have died. So
I would have
choices
died, but it would have fucked up my car. Like,
choices you make.
car fucked would have been where it was at, which
Right.
then would have cost me $10,000 for loss of value based on, because you'd be rewarded on the value of your car now, not from when you bought it. And then it's like,
Yeah. You don't have
yeah,
gap insurance?
well, yeah, but that only helps you pay off the loan.
Yeah.
That doesn't help you buy new shit.
Well, depending, most insurance companies actually they don't do a standard depreciation across the board. They actually use this system. It's called CCC. It's car fucking something whatever,
Hmm.
comprehensive car. I forget, but it's all the insurance companies use it. It's an aggregator. It's a database. You can take your car with a year, make, model, mileage, condition, location, and the condition before the loss, and you plug that into the system, and it will tell you where it gets an exact or close enough match to other vehicles in that exact situation across the United States. So you can start. They'll start locally.
Well,
it'll
Given our
expand out.
current situation with used vehicles, I probably would have gotten $4,000 in my pocket out of it. So I actually would have been in a better situation if I could find a car, because mine is not easy to find.
That's the other
to-
thing that
to
I was
replace
gonna tell
it.
you. I was going to tell you.
Shit,
The other
maybe I
thing
should
they
have let him
do-
hit my car. I
The
could've
other thing
saved
they
some money.
do is the claims adjuster will actually say, okay, look, so I found 50 vehicles just like yours across the United States. So we're gonna go with the ones that are geographically closest to you because it makes sense regionally and how people get paid. You're gonna find people who are more like you. So here are five of your exact vehicle within 1% deviation of anything that are available. And here is the value of those vehicles for sale right now. So we're going to give you the value of that vehicle minus your deductible. because it's actually more, it's going to be a replacement cost, which is what actual cash value is supposed to be calculated as, actual cash value. It's not a a global amount that's then you're taking deductions and depreciation over time, and actual cash value should literally say minus your deductible, where can you take it this check and go pick up the car that you just fucked, and here are your options. You can literally go and buy the replacement. That's an actual cash value of a vehicle. Will your cash be able to provide a substitute for you for that vehicle? And then it makes it a lot easier for insurance companies to do it that way, instead of going with intrinsic value or implied value or classic. Now, if it's a classic car, it's going to turn into a different situation. Collector cars are different situations. Gray market vehicles that are imported, that have to go through special emissions testing, that's a different classification of vehicle. But for your run-of-the-mill Chevy Camaro that people have put improvements on, because they know that people put improvements on those vehicles, they know they do. Customizations are naturally covered to kind of the actual cash value of that vehicle. So if they know that everybody puts on a fucking, I don't know, spoiler and a better supercharger or better turbo or whatever the fuck is running, then those things are not outside the norm for how people treat those vehicles. It's going to be included in it. So that they don't want to go through the lawyer work and the bullshit. It's not worth it. For them, it's like, okay, so we got to pay you an extra $2,000. Fucking A. We'll pay everyone that same amount. You can go get your replacement vehicle for the same amount. Here's your check. Go get it. And just pay your premiums and come back next month. Where they get into trouble is with people who are like, nope, I put $50,000 into this vehicle. That's different. That's retarded customizations. It's like, that's different. If you put aftermarket $50,000 worth of crap on your car, that doesn't mean anybody wants to buy your car in that condition. It's the same thing as if you have real estate and you're like, oh, wait. But remember, this house has a pool. So compared to comps on the neighborhood, I have a pool. Pool is only valuable to the person who wants to own a pool. Otherwise, it's neutral. It's negative for people who don't want a pool. It's positive for people who think they want a pool, until all the costs come in and they have to drain the goddamn pool because there's a crack in the foundation. And they're like, I don't want a pool anymore. Why did we buy a fucking house with a pool? So like all those amenities that come with houses, they don't improve the value of something when it's not something that's a necessity. So necessity, upgrade your bathrooms, your tile, upgrade your kitchen. People use those every single day forever and ever. And that will increase the value of your home. Putting new flagstone in your backyard with an irrigation system, a manzebo with a fan and a grill and a bar, that only makes the husband happy for a minute. It doesn't sell the house for you. It's only intrinsic value. So
All right, I'm searching.
I gotta have Bucky pull it up. He uses that system every day. You hear this
Just
spec.
looking at car values.
So if you look at like Kelly Blue Book, that's all about resale. It has nothing to do with that.
I just plugged it into Auto Trader with the
It's not
broad
bad.
stroke specs.
It's not bad. Auto Trader's not bad.
But essentially this would have just paid off my loan. It would have been pretty flat. I can't see, there's no convertibles available. And I put any distance from where I live. It's not limited to my zip code.
Why is it so
anymore.
rare?
Convertible SS is just they don't make a lot of them. When I figured out, like, I set some financial goals for myself, and I'm like, this was gonna be my reward for paying off all my debt. I wanted to have a convertible because it's the one thing I really missed about having a Jeep back in the day. And even then, when I picked out the motor and everything I wanted to do for this thing, and I looked for it, there was, the year the car was new, there was only 2 within like 300 square miles of where I live.
Jesus.
Luckily one was like a block from my work, so I was like, sweet. And so I went over there and that's where I got it. But But yeah, I got well, this one, that's super low mileage. I mean, I have low mileage too, but not this low. Either way, I would have picked up either $1,000 to put in my pocket, or it would have just baseline flat would have paid off the balance of my loan. Or it would have been close. I might have made a little something.
Indemnification is not about making anything. Indemnification is to put you in the back to the financial situation that you enjoyed before your loss.
Right. So it would have matched, like, by doing that. Essentially, it would have put me in a position where I would have had a down payment to go buy another vehicle. But
Well,
I would not be getting a convertible because I got
because there's just not a lot of options for them.
right.
John said your car was fucking beautiful. I've not seen John drool like that.
Oh
about
yeah,
car. He's
when
like,
he
dude, his
visited,
car
we
is
hit a good weather day too.
fucking
So
gorgeous.
we got to cruise with the top down, so that was fun.
He was like,
So
dude,
it's my baby.
he's like, oh my God, that car is a sexy car. That's a sexy. Yeah, he goes, Jeff, you need that car. I said, Mark already has that car. He goes, you need that car too. I was like, that's funny because Mark told me that too. Mark's like, I think you need this car too. I'm like, I think
That's
I do.
when we remember because I rented the what the hell was it? The Challenger.
Challenger?
Yeah,
Yeah.
when we were there, and I mean, when you got behind the wheel and you were cruising around in it, like you were grinning into ear to ear, man. You're having a good time with that car. Like the car, I rented these things for a while before I like honed in on exactly what I wanted to get, and it was between those two. The Challenger a little big for me, but I think it fit you really well.
It fits my Missy's impression of me of being like 8 feet tall. It's a big vehicle.
Mhm. That model we had though, I was more comfortable driving when the year or two, whatever before, however long ago it was, when I rented a Challenger a couple times, I felt like the inside was a little bigger. Cause like I took it up the Joshua Tree when I was in California, and that windy road that goes up into the monument, and my ass was sliding around inside the seat, taking the turns. And I was like, Jesus, this car is huge. I felt like the one we had was like a little more, like I felt more comfortable sitting in it than previous.
Well, I think it's probably the way that the bench seat was built. I think it's funny that they put a bench seat because you do slide. You're just like-
Yeah.
And you got this big old fucking dash. I mean, I didn't do anything goofy with the car. I wish I would, stood up on that pedal and see how it chirped, but it was interesting just putting around in it because if you lose perspective of how people perceive you, if you're in a Honda Civic, they don't perceive you. If you're in a red penis,
That's
big
exactly what we
red
were doing. Yeah.
2-door penis, then they fucking see you. And you're like, oh, okay. I feel like I'm being like I remember I wanted to get squirrely every now and then I felt like I was being watched.
Oh yeah. Well, one, the car is red.
Not
Two,
just by police, but everyone was watching.
nah, and it was the same thing. Some older guys told me when I bought this car, and there was like, yeah, man, you might get laid a lot more driving that car, but it's gonna be with a dick. Like it's a bunch of dudes that have a hard on for you because of that car. The girls aren't gonna care as much, dude.
The girls are like, it's cute. It's cute.
That's fun. Yeah, go fast, But like,
Yay.
definitely, you go park somewhere, and some other guy that collects cars or he's in the road, to those. Kind of guys, like,
Yes.
dude, what's
Don't-
up? I'm gonna just
Yeah,
chatting
don't-
with a stranger in the parking lot for half an hour.
Don't think you're gonna go do a drug deal in a car like that because everyone's gonna notice you. Everyone wants to talk to you about it. What the fuck was I?
And I love when I bought the car, the finance guy hit me with the same thing I was thinking of, but I thought I was being sarcastic, but he's all, no, statistically this is real because it's a manual too, which is another reason why it was so hard.
Yeah.
And so he was
Yes,
like, you
sir.
got a
Yes,
manual
sir.
transmission. And I'm all, yeah. He's like, no one's ever stealing this car. I'm all, why is that? He's all, none of these kids can drive a stick.
None of
They're
them.
out there
None
stealing
of them.
cars.
None of them. I know exactly. Let me think.
Valet's a bitch. So many of those
What
guys
is-
are like, valet. Like you
Oh.
get up there, you got like, where's the manager? Okay, he can drive a stick.
That's funny, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'll park it up front because we can't drive your car.
Yeah.
That's
I was
nice.
like, hey, it's stick shift. You want me to just pull it over here? All right.
Yeah,
that's fine.
absolutely. I do that a lot. They're like, yes, thank you. Thank you
That's
for not making me
fucking
embarrass myself.
hilarious. Yeah, people don't know how. They just I could think of like good, like proficient manual transmission handlers would be in the group of everybody I know now. Everyone. Myself, you, Bucky, because he bought a truck. He didn't know how to drive stick when he bought his truck. He bought it, went and paid for it online, drove him into El Cajon, and he picked it up. And they're like, "You want to test drive it?" And he's like, "No, I own it now." I'm like, that's weird. We never had people buy it just to buy it on the computer. This was like 1993, probably 93.
Wow.
And he's
In
like,
a minute.
he's like, well, I don't know how to drive stick, so I don't want to learn while I was test driving it. I figured I'd at least own it first. I'm like, all right, well, you want me to remind you?
Well, that's a commitment. And he's like, I will definitely be learning this.
Right. He got a Mazda B4000, so it was like the Mazda version of the Ranger Edge. So
Yeah. My when way back then, my best friend Josh, he had that truck right after you and I graduated high school. That's when I met him and came over.
they had I remember they had the commercial for that truck. They're like the Mazda B4000. They showed it like going up like a not a flagpole, but like a electrical pole, like electric pole. And they're like, has enough torque. You know,
Oh, it
it's like-
does. It does. My
And
my
it-
buddy used to, dude, when it was that summer of '92, man, that's when I met him, and he would take this thing off-roading now by West Hills High School. It was not lifted.
Right.
It's just a regular pickup.
Right.
Just
Bucky,
bang, you know?
Bucky put fat tires on it. He put in bigger tires,
Mhm.
but never the rim, nothing else. And that motherfucker 2-wheel drive had enough torque to pull out of any situation.
Yeah.
That's true.
Made me a believer.
Unbelievable. So, anyways, people who can drive manual transmissions. I taught my ex-wife, but she couldn't do it.
Yeah, my ex-wife could. Tina could handle it. So she used to drive my Jeep every now and then. And did not grind the gears or fuck it up or anything.
Not many. It's such a
Not
rare
many, no.
thing.
Yeah.
How did you learn how to drive a manual transmission?
My brother's a
Okay.
truck driver. He taught me how to drive on a stick.
Truck driver on a stick.
Well, he's a truck driver, so he's the guy that taught me how to drive. So he had a Volkswagen Rapid that had a clutch, and that's how I learned how to drive. So when we were in high school, I had a manual.
Yeah, and I had manuals forever. All my cars until probably 2005. I think I got a Mazda that was automatic transmission. I think it was my
Dude,
first one.
I had for like my personal vehicle, I had my first automatic transmission. I think it was 2015. That was the first time I didn't have a manual. Like as my car. Like,
Mm.
my buddy Craig Hassel, when we were in high school, wanted, he was like, I'm going to take you to teach you how to use a clutch on like a hill. Because we got talking about it. And I was like, yeah, I get nervous on like, inclines. It's like, when you're on a stoplight on a hill in San
On Mass
Diego.
Boulevard.
Sure. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, with three
And
cars in
I'm
front, three
sitting
cars
there with
behind.
my e-brake on, just waiting to rev it and catch and take off the e-brake. He's like, that's embarrassing. And he was from Texas, so he was a very good old boy about it. And what's Carlton Hills, which is the middle school over by Santana?
Yeah. Mhm.
There was an elementary school that was nearby, and where the kids got picked up, there was this hill that maybe it was 30 feet,
Yeah,
but it was like this, to get in to go pick up the kids. And he would take me over there around 7 o'clock when there's no one around. He's all, if you can get the clutch engaged on this fucking tiny hill from hell enough, he's like, you'll have this down. So he took me over there in his Volkswagen Bug, and which was even a shittier clutch to use than my Rabbit. My Rabbit felt like fucking grace compared to this piece of shit. Like, it was a beautiful car, but the way the clutch worked on that car was very different. It was very like, kind of
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then when the motor is more, there's more gumption with the Rabbit versus the Bug, because the Bug was like, oh my god, I really hurt the lawnmower when I fucking hit it this time.
Driving a fucking Volkswagen Rabbit is like, it's like empty, like those CCs are like empty fucking energy. You know, it's like,
I felt
okay,
like I was driving a Bud Light beer can with
Right.
a rocket attached to it.
Yeah. I remember the first time. Okay, if I hadn't been riding 3-wheelers and driving dune buggies and whatnot off road since I was 8, I probably would have flipped out the first time I got in a Volkswagen in the rain. On top of that, and realized that everything was cable, pulley. It was pulley and cable driven. None of it.
Yeah.
It was not fucking. There was no. No, it was not hydraulic. It wasn't about like push harder and you'll get more out of it. No,
But that gave you a lot of control over that clutch, dude, because that was a finite distance on that cable. So you can fast shift on that motherfucker like nothing. It was awesome.
Oh yeah.
I used to tear through Mission Trails, that 2-lane highway before they put in all the speed bumps when we were in school. Oh man, you fishtail those turns, and it was all based on how much control you had over that clutch. Fucking fishtailing around and pop it, boom, you're fucking back, dude. It was so good. So good. I snapped that clutch cable going up the hill for the exit into North Park by the zoo.
Mhm.
I pulled off, and then I went to downshift to take that hill into the exit, and pop, nothing. Clutch pedal went to the floor. I was like, fuck. This car's doing nothing.
Pure mechanical genius, brought to you by Hitler.
For sure. For sure.
For sure. And like I remember I would be shopping for, the first time I drove a Bug, period, on the street. So it wasn't a Baja. Somebody who worked for me. I was at Pizza Hut. I was the manager. He's like, yeah, you can take my Bug. And I'm like, okay, cool. I can drive anything. I don't give a fuck. Like literally anything. But what I wasn't anticipating was 1,300 pounds of vehicle, which was now 1,500 pounds because of me in it. That had no center of gravity.
Oh no.
None.
Same thing with the Rabbit.
Fuck. It's unsettling because you're used to
Except
having
you
like,
had the engine in the back of the Bug, though.
in the back, right? And I'm used to a drivetrain down the middle and some centrifugal force that's pulling me down to the ground. And instead, I feel like I'm in a hollow frame aluminum death trap from hell.
You're just waiting for the front wheels to leave the ground when you take.
Yeah. And he had the 1866 cc, which was like the big bore for that fucking Volkswagen. That's the big one, the 1.8.
I wouldn't know. Go ahead.
They started like 1,300, 1,400 cc. So your displacement was the highest at 1866. So, it had some torque. So that torque combined with no centrifugal downforce, I snapped the clutch cable and the brake cable before I got out of the Vaughn's parking lot.
Fuck.
So then I got on my Blaupunk fucking cell phone. Beep, 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 beep. Pizza Hut, home of the Bigfoot. Yeah, put Octavio on the phone. Hello? Tommy, the fuck is wrong with your car? I just snapped the clutch pedal and the brake pedal. He goes,
Everything's bad.
Yeah, no, they're kind of loose. Yeah, I meant to tell you.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
I was like, oh, they're loose. He's like, yeah. He said, well, I just didn't have a screwdriver. I mean, like, so you thread it through the back and you got a little loop, and then you got to tighten up the second loop.
Those days, like when you reach your foot under the clutch pedal and you pull it up a little higher so you can get it to engage.
Yes, exactly. So I was like, oh, okay. So here's the thing with idiosyncratic vehicles. And he's like, well, I don't know what you mean. I said, vehicles that have rules that other people should know before they drive them. He's like, oh, okay, idiot synchro rules. Okay.
Idiot rules. That's I think
Yeah.
it sounded like he took it.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, idiot synchro. You don't know how fucking unique your vehicle is until you sell it to somebody, Tavi. Like, what do you mean? So you know when you sell it and they're like, hey, so the vehicle's good, no defects. And you're like, yeah, no defects. Everything works. Yeah. Are you sure? You're like, yeah. Here's the keys. And then they drive away, and 5 minutes later they call you and they go, I can't get the window down. You're like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. So okay, so when you push on it like you're gonna go down like normally, but then you push on it like you're gonna roll over the front of it, like roll over the top, and then pull backwards while you go down. Kind of like you're trying to finger bang it a little bit. You're trying to hit the G on your way through.
Hitting the G on your way through.
And you do that, but you gotta hold it down firm and then it'll go down. The contacts apparently are dirty. Okay. All right. Thank you, Jeffrey. You're welcome. Enjoy the car. You get a call back a minute later. Hey, we can't get it out of park. Like, really? That's strange. Oh, the solenoid. Okay. I forgot about this part.
Turn the wheel
So-
like this, and then you gotta wiggle it.
You gotta tap the brake, right? You tap the brake, you gotta hear that click as it releases the solenoid, and then let off just a half beat, and then grab that button, and then you'll feel that one disengage. If not, you wiggle it left, right, left, right, left, right, and then pull it back. And now you're good. Won't be an issue unless it gets cold out.
There's like a
Cool.
combination lock for everything. That's-
Yeah, and then they stop again and they're like, hey, how do you turn the car off? I was like, oh, I forgot. Okay.
Oh shit, that's scary. I've had that happen. You
so
take the key out and still
you pulled the
running.
key out and it didn't stop. I forgot. Okay, so listen, this car was stolen like 5 times. So instead of replacing the solenoid every time it got hacked, well, we just put a momentary on switch. So there's a toggle button underneath.
You put a kill
Um,
switch on it.
yeah, it's got a kill switch. So you can put the key turns it on or off, but it's not going to start without the switch. They're like, oh, okay. Anything else we should know? I'm like, probably, but this is call me. I'm available for the next 6 months. Oh,
that's
warranties
awesome.
are, yeah. That's just so that's how you know. I said, so if you have to, Tommy, if you have to put on a special space helmet, or you should make sure you empty your bowels before you get in the vehicle. Like, you just got to say something like, "Oh, hey, don't smoke. There's a leak in the gas line."
Oh Jesus Christ!
You know, like something. You know, like you gotta tell people these rules. And yeah, so then I get down there and I get the clutch cable back together, get the brake cable back together, and he's like, "You want to come back and get?" No, I'm fuck you. Me and this car, we're gonna make it. This sparkly blue, lowered, like ass up, nose down, lowered, white walled, fucking 1956 bug. We are going to have fun in the rain, and we're gonna survive it. I'm gonna go get donuts. So I kept spinning out, dude. I drove a 89 Daihatsu Charade, a
You
3-cylinder,
just said Daihatsu. Like I forgot that
Daihatsu.
was a thing.
a 3-cylinder pregnant roller skate that had 90 horsepower. 3-cylinder, 90 horsepower, 5-speed.
There's a picture.
Crazy. That had power compared to this Volkswagen.
Dude, my
Every
roommate Mark had that. one
Every
of those
time I took
bugs.
off, I would just spin,
4
I was-
guys in that car,
just
Can you
doing
imagine?
donuts.
just sitting on the street.
It's crazy. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
"Well,
they're great for donuts. Oh my god, we went out.
yeah,
I
get
was driving
somebody-
home. I was
somebody to
driving us
flip.
home one night
Yeah.
from going out. I was shit, man. That was one of the rare times. So I was underage driving, and I had a buddy who was his dad used to let us drink at his house, and I took my older friends over there, but they were all fucked up, so I'm driving them home, and we got them in the parking lot at Fletcher Parkway, and I had been driving for a while. They were all sleeping in the car, and I just started tearing into donuts. And it's like the acid starts squealing around as I'm finishing the donut. The dude in the back seat's like, stop the car. The dude in the front seat gets folded in half in the passenger seat as the dude in the back jumps out out of the coop into the street to start yakking. Why'd
I
you do
love-
this to me? 'Cause it's
That's
funny, I guess.
hilarious. That's mean.
The used car adventures, man. I remember buying a truck after that rabbit, and it was only a year old, but the guy before me had owned it said, man, I thought I took me and my dad took like a fine-tooth comb over this vehicle. Everything about it was tip top, except for the fact the guy had removed his car stereo that was very special to him before he turned it in to the Toyota lot. That was his trade-in.
You
I
remember
get
the stereo?
home. He took, well, they had the stock shit in there, but he had a custom unit in there before he put the old stuff back in. And I remember pulling up wherever I was at, and I slammed the door shut, and the window in the driver's side just goes ka-kunk and falls into the door. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And so get the panels off, and the guy had taken a saw of some side because the speakers he put in the doors were too big for the holes that were there. So instead of buying the right size speakers like someone who
Right.
knows how to fucking build a stereo, he just
Right.
took this fucking saw and cut more space into the door frame so his speakers would fit, which weakened the integrity of the frame itself, which controls the mechanism that houses the window.
Genius. I bet he just
Yeah.
didn't roll his window down the whole time.
Probably, but then I couldn't put door speakers in at all because the solution was I had to reinforce that space that he had fucked up. But that meant that bar went through the space where a speaker would have gone. So I was like, all right, that's what we're
Genius.
gonna do. Yeah,
Sheer genius, Lloyd.
no kidding. So then I put my own fucking badass stereo system in that thing a couple of years later, to which I can actually say I put too much ampage into that truck, and I put some nice Boston acoustics as like my 4 inches, like in the dash, because I couldn't use the doors. Fucking hit that thing so hard between the amp and the equalizer I put in because I wanted more wattage. Fucking speakers caught on fire in the dash. Like they blew and caught on fire.
No.
I'm all, speakers are gone. What's the smoke?
Just no. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's funny. I've never had, not never. I had a JVC pull-out cassette deck that I got from my aunt and uncle for my.
Dude, JVC is awesome. That was my first deck that I ever put into I had in my Rabbit. I had a great stereo with it was a rust bucket with
Remember
good
when you used to
tunes in it.
pull out the fucking stereo and take it with you?
Yeah, the little handle on the front. Yeah,
And then they made the one where you just took the front panel off.
correct.
Then you take that with you.
Mhm.
What do they do now?
I mean, have you ever tried to work on a stereo on a modern car? It is so wired in there. It's the entire panel.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
people don't steal stereos anymore. They steal a car. It's easier.
Yeah, there's no value in it. Even the Kia that I'm driving. I remember Lisa kept saying like she wanted a new car. We only had that for a few years, and I was like, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Well, if you ask enough of the right questions, eventually you get the answer that you should have had, which is, I'm upset that I don't have a Bluetooth stereo. So I was on my way down to go haggle for a new fucking car because she wanted a stereo.
There's adapters for that.
Right. I'm like, I don't want one of those, the one that you plug in with the thing and the. All right. Well, you're too good for that. Well, that's fine. I'll go pay $500 and I'll get a top of the line touchscreen, CD, DVD with DVD jacks in case we ever want to put shit on the back for the kids. I got a top of the line one for like $550, free installation or $1 or whatever it was. And I was like, see, we were about to have a car payment like that every month. You wanted a new car. This is why communication is important with yourself. Ask yourself, what is it that you actually want?
Mhm.
What you wanted was you wanted to be able to stream from your phone to your stereo. Just fucking say that. Don't have me pre-qualifying for fucking car loans to make you happy when it was never about the car. Car's fine. Just wanted a better
She's
steering.
just negotiating your position, see what she could get out of it. You know, it's like,
Right.
yeah, you know,
Well, you know, like
payments,
my-
can we afford it? Fuck that, figure it out later. New
wanna-
car smell. My girlfriends are jealous. I don't have to carry an iPod in the car.
I want a car like my sister has. You want a Honda?
Boom.
You want a Honda? No,
I want a car that was on a Bluetooth stereo. That's funny.
it's the Bluetooth. It's the goddamn stereo. Oh man, you just gotta chip away at it. Chip away.
Hmm.
I'm good at asking questions. So we should probably wrap up. I'm assuming you have to go to bed. Yeah.
I do.
Pussy. Sunday. That's tomorrow.
It is.
So we're gonna do the Atomic Dork Squad. I sent you a preview of
Yes.
little change that we're making. Last week, we hadn't seen Daniel for like a month. So Daniel's been vacationing and doing the things that people with affluence and no responsibility can do. Wife with a good job. And he spends like a month or more just goofing off, doing whatever he wants, which is amazing.
You know, I used to like him until you shared this little story with me. It's not real
So
hate, it's pure jealousy.
it's pure jealousy, yeah. And he's a good guy, and his wife looks like she's still 20. And she's hot. She's hot. So, you know, like middle of the road, hot, but she's still, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, how'd you get?
I
20
don't
years?
actually remember what she looks like from the Facebook photos, but they had an anniversary recently, and
yeah.
their wedding photos, they were adorable.
That's so adorable.
They're really
Yeah.
good, really nice photos.
I was giving him shit. I was like, how is it that you and your fucking wife, she makes all the money, she spoils you rotten, she puts up with your shit, and she does yoga every day, and she still looks like she's fucking 25. He goes, yeah, I married up. And then I see her
Strong.
hand.
That's
I
a
see
strong
her-
answer. I love it.
I see her hand at the top of his head, and yeah, she,
Oh,
he
yeah?
goes, she just walked by. That was good timing.
That's awesome.
But we wound up looking at South Carolina beachfront houses for rent based on some places he had gone. And it was quite enjoyable because we found these huge houses, like 5,000 square foot houses. And we just did 3D tours through the houses. And one house is green. I don't remember what the fuck it was called, like the Margarita house, I think. One was pink. It was the Flamingo house. One had pirate statuary all through it, plus themed rooms. Every room was themed. Like they were tacky as fuck, but we quite enjoyed.
Each
seeing
room
what-
had a theme. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, like the monkey room,
Like
the
Neverland.
dog room, the cat room. Yeah. So there was a sex room. It wasn't
Smart.
that spicy, but
Yeah.
basically it looked like these houses look like somebody had $1 million budget and Hobby Lobby open on a Sunday for them.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
So then we said, well, if we booked solid week in June next year, which is prime time for South Carolina beaches, it was $40,000 to rent
for a week.
Yeah, but they're like 8 bedroom, 11 bath, 5,000 square foot. They're big fucking houses. Mini
So if
mansion.
you brought 8 couples, divide that by.
Yes. I'm like, I don't know 10 couples. I don't know 10 couples.
And what's
Plus,
that?
I don't know 10 couples that want to hang out.
$5,000 a pop. Yeah.
Right. So
You're just subletting while you're there.
so we kind of went in just a kind of fantasy, and then I started writing notes for the for the rental office of things that we needed, accommodations that we needed as we went through the rooms, and we were just shooting the shit and just laughing about it. And then the show went a little bit long, and I was like, sorry, Daniel, gotta let you, I know you gotta go to bed, it's school night, whatnot. He was like, I like this. This was so much fun. This was great, actually. I would do this. I would stay up late for this. I was like, well, fuck, let's just change our format a little bit. I think this was fun too. It's just like kind of an adventure. He was okay. Yeah, let's do it. I said, cool. So I'll find a house and I'll find a location, and then I'll research some homes around it that we can rent. Jeff, I need you to be pub crawl. I need you to find all
Nice.
debaucherous zones around where we could go do our debaucherous things. We can get drunk, faded, massaged, whatever we might need.
Make
And
it
then
creepy. Yeah.
Then Daniel, I'm gonna need you to take care of church. Saving our souls, probably some
Let's
art,
get forgiveness for all the sinning.
some exhibits, maybe some music, maybe some family jamboree time. I need you to find the wholesome shit that we can do in that area. So debauchery, wholesome, and then we will all cohabitate in the place. I'll take care of the homes, and we can make a decision.
awesome.
And that'll be what do they call it? Fresh hot trips. Get your fresh hot trips here. So Atomic Dork Squad, fresh hot trips. We're gonna be in Orlando, which
When I saw the Orlando thing, I immediately thought you were gonna do something about that Star Wars hotel or something at Disneyland. That's what I thought you were gonna be featuring on the show.
it'll be private homes, whatever it might be. I found there's like 23 themed mansions in that area for rent. So we'll figure some out.
First world problems.
Daniel's like, do you know there's a Star Wars themed mansion that somebody owns? I'm like, I'm not surprised. I picked Orlando, dummy.
Perfect.
So, yeah, we'll see. It was entertaining. We'll see if they come through with a little bit of research, and we'll find the places to get faded, and we'll find the place where we can stay, and then we'll see what Daniel comes up with.
Very cool.
I think it'd be funny if Daniel comes up with the debauchery stuff. He's like, "What?"
Like him and Jeff switch it up on you.
Yeah, he's like, well, I found this church which looked like their morning service was really quite nice, and then I thought, happy endings. Oh, who doesn't need that? You can only pray.
Finds a church that was converted into like a bondage club or something like that.
He wanted to argue with me at first when I said, make sure yours is like church, family, wholesome stuff. He goes, mine was just supposed to be general things that we can do. And I said, Daniel, listen. And amongst this friend group, nobody's afraid, or everybody knows that you're not afraid of what happens when you die. You're getting in, buddy. It's just a matter of fact. Me, I'm banking on a technicality or two because I read the fine print. Jeff Coy, he's just banking on some Hail Marys as he finishes his last Bloody Mary. See how he fucking lands.
Yahtzee.
So, he goes, yeah, good point. Jeff's like, thumbs up. So stick to wholesome, Daniel.
Awesome.
Don't act like you're not. So yeah, that'll be tomorrow night, 7:00. And then I have Monday off from work, and I'm not sure what to do with myself.
Yeah, I got to change up. I'm actually going to be off Tuesday, Wednesday this upcoming week.
Okay.
So we'll be a little busier because of the holiday weekend for us.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Sunday, I should be getting her off work around, like be able to leave around 7:00 your time. So I might be able to catch the show. See what you guys put together.
Well, yesterday was my daughter's birthday, Haley,
Oh, cool.
17 years old. That's fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Wish her happy birthday for me.
I will. She's a good kid. I like her a lot.
I hope so.
Actually, I do. I like her a lot. Like I like her. She's
Like a human
impressed.
being.
She's impressing me in ways that I hoped she would. So I'm not shocked, but I'm very, very pleased. And she checks in with me when we spend weekends together. She's always like, Father, when I'm having conflict with Riley, I want to be sure that I don't act out or overreact to things just based on how I'm feeling in the moment. So sometimes when I start to get frustrated with him, I'll have to tell him that I need some time right now. I'm not breaking up with you. I still love you, but I'm frustrated and I need about 20 minutes or so.
Smart kid.
So
Very
I'm like,
mature
yeah.
Response.
And she's like, yep. And she goes, so sometimes we're together when I have to say that. And it's a little awkward because we'll be sitting in my room and he'll be sitting on the floor and I'm over in my corner doing my thing and just trying to like get my emotions under control because my emotions are not his responsibility. He can help me sometimes, but he can't change him. She goes, and then
That's
yeah.
obnoxiously healthy.
Yeah. So then I realized, like, okay, I feel better. And she's like, I feel better. Did you want to talk now? He goes, oh yeah. She goes, so just so you know, I'm not mad at you. And I'm not asking you to solve anything. I just need you to hear me. You can just listen to me and be okay with that and tell me you love me at the end, then that'll be great. That's what I need from you. He's like, okay. And then he listens, Dad. He just listens and he's like very happy. Like he looks relieved. I'm like,
Well, she speaks man language. So
Yeah.
that's
I said, I'm so proud of you. It's as if I've been saying these things over and over and over again for like your entire life and it's stuck. I'm like,
That's great.
men are simple, baby. You just have to tell us what to think. We don't want to solve all the
Yeah,
problems.
she pulled she's like P. Diddy from Get Him to the Greek.
Yeah.
I'm mind fucking you right now.
I said, men are wired to repair. And that's our base go-to. Like, we're like, I don't understand. I'll just fix it. Why don't you just listen to me? If you just listen to me, you wouldn't be frustrated all the time. I said, you coming in and you establishing the ground rules is such a relief. Because you go, first off, it's not about you. Okay, we're good. I love you. I'm not going anywhere. You get me? And I don't mean that sarcastically, and I'm not going to surprise you with the fuck you moment. I promise. Good? This man will worship you. He will eat your shit
Fuck yeah.
for the rest of your life. You want him in your life, he will be there. He will be there. Because he's got a mom who's like so his whole life has been dealing with the unexpected.
Mhm.
And so he's always been
Yeah.
waiting for the bad thing to happen.
It's that
I said,
old
he's
adage though. Women need compliments, men need reassurance.
Mhm. So strange, right?
Mhm.
I said, she said, but I did have some frustration with him because sometimes he'll get condescending with me and it hurts my feelings. I said, yeah, understandable. But I try to explain it to him and he doesn't understand what I'm saying. And then he gets more frustrated. I can get that. Yeah. So I mean, you're trying to tell him how you feel about a way that he behaved, but he doesn't think that the way he behaved is anything that you should have a feeling about. She's like, yeah. So sometimes it takes a while. You don't want to beat him over the head for a long period of time with it because he'll just get mad and then he'll just shut down.
I love that joke, the condescending joke.
What?
It's like, I don't mean to be condescending. That means talking down to you.
That means talking down to you, right? That's me, 100%. 100%. And I said, well, sometimes it takes time. Sometimes you have to bring it up and see if he's open to having a discussion. Because I said, you're still having this feeling that this is something that you still need to address. And he doesn't see that he did anything wrong. I said, well, what do you want for him to say? Perfect world. Like, let's say you brought up the X topic and then he was like, well, you don't know shit, blah, 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 blah. This is how it actually works. And you're like, you're being rude. He's like, no, I'm not. I'm just telling you the truth. She's like, yeah, like that. So he acts like your dad? He's like, yeah. All right, yeah. He's just being an asshole. I said, what do you want him to think and feel in order for you to feel better about whether or not in your heart it hurts to think that he thinks you're an idiot or something? Because I know you don't want to be perceived as being an idiot. And you feel like when he talks to you like that he's saying that you're an idiot, right? Yeah. So what do you want him to say? Like if you can touch his heart and he would say the right thing, what would it be? She's like, I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry if it hurt your feelings, but I don't think of you as being stupid or not, ignorant or anything like that. It's okay. That would make you feel better. Because yeah, I just want to hear it from him. I just want to hear it like, I don't feel that way I don't think that way about you. I promise. I said, okay. Tell him that. Tell him that. And then have the conversation a couple days from now. So you can disassociate the fact that you told him that. I said, he's getting
You're
frustrated every
teaching
time.
your daughter progressive discipline.
Yeah. He keeps getting frustrated, which
Next
makes me
time I get condescended, it's gonna be a verbal warning. You know,
every time I said,
we're gonna progress to written.
if every time you bring it up, it creates more pressure, then just be like, honey, I just want to hear that you don't think that I'm stupid and that you didn't mean to come across that way. That would make me feel better, but we don't have to discuss it right now. And she's like, but that's just telling him what to think. I'm like, yeah, he'll appreciate you for that. He doesn't. I said, men, we have neat, tidy boxes in our head. We have like 40 of them or so. It's about 40 topics. Is about as max we give a fuck about ever. And then we have that and topic is in the box, and then we put it away and close it up. And then sometimes when you're like, what are you thinking about? We're like, nothing. It's because it's true. Nothing. We're not thinking about a fucking thing. Nothing. The boxes are all closed. They're all put away, stacked up nice and tight. We're literally not thinking about anything. I said, you don't have those. Somebody fucked up your card catalogs a long time ago.
Oh
And
my
that shit
God.
is just, it is strewn about and you can't find anything in there. And it's just a mess. There are cards on that nobody ever closes them when they're done. It's basically the way
Open file method.
you and your mom, the way you guys manage like cupboards and drawers is exactly the state of your mind, just so you know.
It's like that Bill Burr skit I heard recently when he was like on a late night talk show thing or whatever. And he's like, this is why women are getting in the NFL. The broadcasters and the commentators, all these women are coming in. It's like, because they can't stand the fact that the male brain is so simple. So we can just sit on the couch with a beer and watch a game and go, that's not holding. And that's it. And we're content and happy. And it enrages women that we could be so simple and enjoy our lives. So they want to destroy it. Because they're jealous of our simple minds.
Right. Now they want to bring up intent and tone and and attitude. No, it's just a game. Just rules. That's it. So yeah, that kid impresses me. She just comes in like, Father, I don't want. You have company?
No, I gotta.
Oh, she's like, I don't want. She said, no offense. I don't want what you and mom. I don't want what you and mom had. I said, no, there's no offense taken. I didn't want it either. Your mom's exhausting, and I'm sure I'm not perfect either. So here's how I know. When you leave my house, are you exhausted from me? She's like, no. I said, when you leave your mom's house to come see me, are you grateful because you're exhausted from her? She goes, yes. I said, so, I get it. I win, but I'm not perfect. But it's exhausting. When you're dealing with only emotion and no logic, it's exhausting. And I said, the fact that you're working from both, super proud of you. Like, you
Big
keep
time.
it up. Keep it up. That will help you in your life in every aspect. The ability to communicate with people is the difference between those who lead and those who follow. The innovators and the adopters. And like, you have always said that you were stupid compared to your siblings, but their EQ is non-existent because their IQs are off the chart. They will not be effective as human beings though, the way that you will be, because you are nicely balanced. You're smart enough, you're cute enough, you're funny enough, you're sharp
Darn
enough,
it, people like
determined enough. I said, those are all rare traits. So I'm proud of you, sweetheart. She's like, you say dad?
That's sweet.
All right.
Pillow calls.
Oh. What's the thing they say? Go fuck yourself. We're all hurtling towards our death at an incredible rate of speed, and there's really nothing you can do to stop it, but you can slow it down a little bit. I recommend you do that by finding some like-minded people, spend some time with, share some ideas with, share some wins and some losses and some wisdom with, because remember that we're not all alone. We're you're not the only person alone in the dark wondering what the fuck are you doing with your life. Imposter syndrome, we all have it, but it doesn't mean that we're not being successful even when we're having imposter syndrome. So just keep fighting the fight and loving yourself. Yeah, fucking love yourself. Find somebody like Mark that'll let you love them too. So love one another, love yourself. Have a great night. Be well, my
Good
friend.
night, sir.
Good night, sir. Doo-doo. Love. And a partridge in a pear tree. Oh, look at that. Bright light. 5 golden rings. Oh, Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. Our ship has weathered every rack. The prize we sought is won. The port is near, the bells I hear, the people all exulting, while follow eyes with steady keel, our vessel grim and daring. But, oh hark, 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 oh thy bleeding drops of red, where on the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead. Oh, Captain, my Captain. That was written when the news came that Abraham Lincoln had been assassinated, as the Civil War was already coming to an end. Love one another, love yourself. Good night.